What's up guys, my name is Ryan and I spent the last several years exploring the United Kingdom and I want to share with you my favorite places, so here's my UK Top 25. Comprised of England, Wales, Scotland, and Northern Ireland, the UK is home to some of the most enchanting scenery on earth. From the rugged highlands of Scotland to the white sea cliffs of England, the UK has so much to offer. Let's start this video off in London. Located in southern England, I don't think there's a city more iconic than London. Everything from the double-decker buses to the energy of Piccadilly Circus makes the city just feel so alive. You can check out the iconic Big Ben and walk across the bridge to see the Palace of Westminster. There's the Tower Bridge, which is possibly the most famous bridge in all of London. You can see the Stoic Guards at Buckingham Palace or take a ride on the London Eye. What I personally loved about London was just walking around. There's just always something to see, whether it's a famous attraction or just peaceful park. If you haven't already been to London, I highly recommend giving it a visit when you can. There's no city quite like it in the world. After, let's head to Bath. Located about a 2-hour drive from London, Bath is a historic city with a beautiful river running through it. The main reason I wanted to come here was to see the Roman baths. When I think of the UK, Roman architecture doesn't come to mind, but this is one of the best preserved Roman baths in the world. It was constructed around 60 AD and it was used until the 5th century when the Romans left England. We did a tour of the springs and I was just amazed at the place. There was rooms for cold and hot water, a sauna, and so much more. I can't imagine what it must have been like to bathe here 2,000 years ago. Aside from the Roman bath, I really enjoyed just walking around the city. It's such a beautiful area. After, we're going to head to the nearby Cotswolds. Located about an hour from Bath, the Cotswolds is a region in England home to many quaint villages and enchanting scenery. One place I wanted to visit most was Castlecombe. It's this peaceful village that hasn't had any new houses built since 1600. It's been named one of the prettiest villages in England and I can totally see why. I really enjoy just walking through Castlecombe. It would be so cool to live here. If you're into trekking, you could consider doing the Cotswolds Way. It's a 102-mile walk that winds through the Cotswolds. You can do it over the course of several days, staying at new villages every night. The trek begins in Bath and ends in Chipping Campden. Along the way, you'll pass through numerous villages and attractions. One of my favorite stops on the Cotswolds Way is the Broadway Tower. It was built in the 18th century and I just think it looks so epic as it's perched on the hill. Afterwards, we're going to head down to the Jurassic coast. Located in southern England, it's famous for its white cliffs and picturesque beaches. One of the most famous spots on the Jurassic coast is Durdle. It's this limestone arch that goes straight into the ocean. When I came here, it was absolutely packed. It was a weekend and just a super hot day, so that's probably why. Regardless, the place was epic and the arch is massive. Another one of my favorite spots on the Jurassic coast is Old Harry Rocks. I remember the first time I saw pictures of this place, I was just baffled by the scenery here. It's this uniquely shaped peninsula with white cliffs. It's located about a 2.5 hours drive from London, and to get there it was a decent walk on this flat path. When we got to the end, I couldn't believe the cliffs. They were huge and there were some uniquely shaped sea stacks. We came during the day and for sunset and unfortunately didn't have the best lighting, but when it's not cloudy, the sunrise and sunsets here look absolutely epic. After, we're going to visit the Isle of Wight. Located across the sea from Old Harry's Rocks, the Isle of Wight is the largest island in all of England. You can reach the Isle of Wight by taking a ferry from Southampton or by also taking the hovercraft ferry from Portsmouth. One of my favorite features of the Isle of Wight is the Nevis lighthouse. It's this 19th century lighthouse that is built upon these chalk sea stacks that jet out of the sea. It's such a unique location and I love the white sea cliffs in the background. After, we're going to head up to the Lake District. Located in northwestern England, the Lake District is known for its glacial ribbon lakes and its fell mountains. It's also home to Scafell Pike, which is the highest place in England with an elevation of 3,209 feet. One place I wanted to visit most here was Buttermere Lake. It's located in the northern part of the Lake District and its name means the lake by dairy pastures. We drove the skinny roads in and then hiked into the lake. It was a hot day, so there was a good amount of people enjoying the water. I wish I had brought my swimsuit. The lake looks so nice to swim in. Another one of my favorite features of the lake was this mountain that is perfectly placed. The whole area is just beautiful. I couldn't recommend the Lake District enough. Afterwards, let's head up to Scotland to visit Edinburgh. Located about an 8-hour drive from London, I have to say that Edinburgh is one of my all-time favorite European cities. You feel like you're walking back in time as you navigate its streets and alleyways. When I started traveling, this was one of the first cities I visited. It has a medieval old town with intricate neoclassical buildings, cobblestone streets, and beautiful gardens. The iconic Edinburgh Castle overlooks the city and it's home to Scotland's crown jewels. I really enjoyed walking the streets that lead up to the castle. There's just so much going on and it was such a vibe. One of my favorite places in this city is Calton Hill. It offers an incredible 360 panorama of Edinburgh, and there's some interesting monuments up there. While we're still in Edinburgh, we're going to head to Arthur's Seat. Now Arthur's Seat is located in Holyrood Park and it's a short walk from Edinburgh Centre. Arthur's Seat is an extinct volcano with an elevation of 823 feet. When I was there, I wanted to get up as high as I could to see all of Edinburgh, and I made the hike up and reached the top. After I hiked to the top, I had a good time just walking around Holyrood Park and enjoying the views of one of the UK's most iconic cities. Afterwards, we're going to leave the city to head up to Dunnottar Castle. Located about a 2-hour drive from Edinburgh, this medieval fortress is full of history. Today, only the ruins remain to tell the castle's past. I really enjoyed walking around Dunnottar. There was a fee to enter, and we had a good time exploring this historical place. It always amazes me people's ability to build castles in the most peculiar places. After exploring the castle grounds, I really enjoyed walking on the nearby cliffs. They offer an amazing view of the castle, and the scenery here was just spectacular. After, we're on a venture up the coast to visit Rattray Head Lighthouse. Located about an hour's drive away, Rattray is this lighthouse located just off the coast. It was built in 1895 and it stands at 120 feet tall. To get there, it was an easy walk on some sand and coastal dunes. When we were there, the water was very calm and the lighting wasn't amazing, but when the sea is rough with waves pounding against the lighthouse, this place is epic. After, we're going to explore one of the most northern parts of mainland UK, Duncansby Stacks. Located about a 5.5 hour drive from Edinburgh, to get to the stacks, we parked by this lighthouse, and then it was a really nice scenic walk through a green field full of sheep. After a few minutes, we made it to this viewpoint. We could have just kept going closer to the cliffs, but it was near sunset and we were running out of time. Regardless, I was amazed at the view of this place. The sea stacks were so jagged and it looked amazing with the light of the setting sun. It could definitely be a place where some dragons live. After, we're going to head to the nearby Orkney Islands. Located just north of mainland Scotland, the Orkney Islands are home to some enchanting landscapes. To get there, we took the ferry from Gills Bay and it was about an hour ride. It was super easy and convenient. Once we got to the Orkney Islands, we started to drive around. A good portion of the islands are connected by causeways, which is very nice. Now the main reason I wanted to come to Orkney was to visit the Ring of Brodgar. It's this ancient stone circle and it's positioned on this narrow neck of land sandwiched between two lochs. It's believed that the ring was built sometime around 2500 BC and it's the third biggest stone circle in the UK. I really enjoyed walking around the circle. It makes you ponder why they were built here over 4,000 years ago. It's incredible these rocks still stand today. While we're still on the topic of Scotland's islands, we're going to head to Shetland. Located between the Faroe Islands, Norway, and Scotland, Shetland is an archipelago and the northernmost point of the UK. To reach it, you can fly there, or also you can take a ferry from Cornwall or Aberdeen, and it's about a 14-hour journey. Lerwick is the main town of the Shetland Islands and has a population of around 7,000 people. And this archipelago is home to some incredible beaches such as St. Ninians, and there's so much incredible scenery on these islands. After, we're going to head to the Outer Hebrides. Located off the coast of western Scotland, the Outer Hebrides are the longest archipelago in the United Kingdom. To get there, you can fly or take ferries from Ullapool or the Isle of Skye. We took the ferry from the Isle of Skye and it was a very nice boat trip that was under 2 hours. We arrived in Tarbert and started exploring the biggest island of the Outer Hebrides, the Isle of Lewis and Harris. The scenery here was very rugged and beautiful, and there was tons of scenic views on the water. The main reason I wanted to come here was to visit the Callanash Stones. Of all the stone circles, I think this is my favorite. It looks like a scene straight out of Outlander. It's located on the northern side of the island, about a 30 minutes drive from Stornoway. The stones date back to over 5,000 years ago, and it's believed to have been used in rituals. It was fascinating to walk amongst the stones. It makes you wonder how the stones were moved here and what their true purpose was. It was such a magical area, and I'm glad we made the long journey to see them. While we were here, we wanted to visit some of the other islands in the archipelago. We decided to go to the North Uist Island. To get there, we took a ferry, and then it was fun to drive around. There were so many beautiful beaches and coastal areas. I mean, if it wasn't so cold, you would think you were on like some tropical island. Now, there was this place called West Beach that was right next to the ferry port. It was a huge beach with white sand, and there were some massive jellyfish washed up ashore. Afterwards, we're going to head to one of the most fascinating places in Scotland and the UK, St. Kilda. Located off the coast of the Outer Hebrides, St. Kilda is home to the highest sea cliffs in the UK. You can reach the island by going on a boat departing from the Isle of Harris, and it takes about 3 hours to reach the remote island. The history of St. Kilda is fascinating. It was inhabited thousands of years ago, but it was abandoned in 1930 due to several factors and just the overall difficulty of living there. Today only sheep and ruins remain to tell the stories of the island's past. While you're here, you can hike around and explore this incredible part of Scotland. After, we're going to leave Scotland and head to Northern Ireland to visit Giant's Causeway. With its jagged cliffs and incredible views, it's one of the most recognizable places in all of Northern Ireland. The most distinct feature of Giant's Causeway is its 40,000 basalt columns. They are these perfect hexagons that cover the coast. According to the legend, the causeway was built by an Irish giant so he could cross the Northern Sea to fight a Scottish giant. When I was there, we started by hiking above the cliffs and then hiked down to the causeway. I was amazed by the bizarre rock formations. I had such a fun time just walking on them. It's wild to think that they were made by nature. While you're there, you can also hike around to the other spots on the coast, such as the amphitheater. I really like the rock formation and the chimney stack on the cliff. While we're still in Northern Ireland, we're going to head over to Carrick-a-Rede. It's this scenic bridge that crosses the North Atlantic Sea over to this little island. I was just amazed by the watercolor here. It was so blue and clear and contrasted perfectly with the green cliffs. Just 20 minutes from there, you can visit the dark Hedges. It's this country road lined with over 90 trees. They were planted almost 250 years ago. According to legend, there's a ghost called the Grey Lady who wanders the avenue. It definitely has spooky vibes at night. After Northern Ireland, we're going to head back to England to visit Cornwall. Located on England's southwestern tip, Cornwall is home to some of the best coastline in all of England. While the northern coast is full of impressive sea cliffs at places such as Godrevy Point, the southern coast is named the Cornish Riviera as it's full of scenic harbour towns and villages. One of my favorites is Loo. It's this picturesque town that is divided by the Loo River, which empties in the sea. There's an incredible beach and it's just full of classic English houses. One of the most impressive locations in Cornwall is St. Michael's Mount. It's a tidal island with an impressive castle on top. It's believed to be the home of a monastery from the 8th to 11th centuries, and the castle on the island summit dates back to the 12th century. When the tide goes out, you're going to walk across the stone causeway to get there. It reminds me a lot of France's Mont Saint-Michel, which is also a tidal island with similar features. While we're still in southwestern England, we're going to head over to the Isles of Scilly. Located about 28 miles off of Cornwall, the Isles of Scilly are an archipelago made up of 5 inhabited islands with a population around 2,000 people. The islands are full of crystal clear waters, historical sites, and rolling green hills. To reach the islands, you can take a 3-hour ferry from Penzance, or you can also take a short plane ride. Islands are just truly stunning. I'd love to get a boat and just sail around the islands in the summertime. After, we're going to visit the White Cliffs of Dover. Located about a 2 hours drive from London, the White Cliffs of Dover are not only a scenic location, but an intriguing historical site, especially regarding World War II history. Since the cliffs are Britain's closest point to continental Europe, being only 20 miles from France, these cliffs have been called an icon of Britain and a symbol of home and wartime defense. During World War II, crossing the Dover was the primary route to Europe by boat or plane, so the White Cliffs were the first and last site of Britain. After the evacuation of Dunkirk, the site of the Cliffs of Dover was a sign of relief as the thousands of Allied troops made it safely back to Britain. The history of these cliffs are absolutely fascinating. While we're still on the topic of cliffs, we're going to visit the Seven Sisters. Located about a 2 hours drive from Dover, the Seven Sisters are home to some of the most beautiful cliffs in all of England. I love how there's just perfectly green grass and a straight drop off to the beach below. The Seven Sisters have been used in film and television series as a stand-in for the famous White Cliffs of Dover. They look just like them, and I think they are honestly more scenic and there's just less people and infrastructure. Regardless, the Seven Sisters are an incredible coastline and a perfect place to stroll and enjoy the English coast. After, we're going to head up to Wales. Located in the southwest of UK, Wales is famous for its mountainous national parks, picturesque coastline, and distinct Welsh language. One of the most scenic places in Wales is Snowdonia. It's a region in northwest Wales that is known for its mountains and lakes. The highest peak in Wales is Mount Snowdon. You can hike up it or also take the Snowdon Mountain Railway to the top. One of my favorite lakes in Snowdonia is Llyn Padarn. It's located at the base of Mount Snowdon and it's just a serene area. If you want to explore some of Wales' coastline, Pembrokeshire offers some incredible scenery. I really like this place called Scottish Stacks that has these incredible rocks jutting out of the sea. Another one of my favorite castles in Wales is the Castell Dinas-Bran. It's believed to have been built over 800 years ago and is perfectly placed on top of this hill. Today only ruins remain, but I love the green slopes and just overall atmosphere of the area. It's such a magical location. After, we're going to head back to Scotland to visit the Highlands. They are one of my favorite regions in all the UK. It's home to incredible mountains and just mystical scenery. One of my favorite places in the Highlands is Glencoe. Located about a 3-hour drive from Edinburgh, Glencoe is this quaint village, but what I loved about this area is its huge mountains. There was this really nice place to park at this little loch, and it was really enjoyable to walk near the lake. you get a great view of the Bedian Nam Bian mountain, which is 3,770 feet high, and it rests right up against the lake. I mean, this whole area is just beautiful. If you keep driving up the road in the eastern direction, you'll reach this viewpoint which gives you an incredible view of the set of mountains called the Three Sisters of Glencoe. I mean, the drive through the mountains here is amongst the most beautiful in Scotland in my opinion. Now if you keep driving east a few more minutes, you'll reach Bucale Itimor viewpoint. I think this is one of the most symmetrically shaped mountains I've ever seen. It's almost a perfect pyramid shape. I kept going down the road to this river and it gives a beautiful view of the mountains with a little waterfall. The mountains in this part of Scotland are just next level. After, we're going to take a hike to the top of Ben Nevis. With a height of 4,413 feet, Ben Nevis is the tallest point not just in Scotland but all the UK. It's located near the town of Fort William in the Highlands, and what's great about Ben Nevis is that you can hike to the top. There are several routes, and the most popular one is about 10 miles round trip with an elevation gain of 4,400 feet. Depending on your fitness level, it can take anywhere from 6 to 10 hours to complete. The summit is pretty flat with lots of rocks, and it's such a cool mountain to climb. After, let's head to one of the most iconic places in the Highlands, the Glenfinnan Viaduct. It's located at the top of Loch Shiel in the West Highlands of Scotland, and it's about a 3-hour drive from Edinburgh. The viaduct was completed around 1898. Now this place may look familiar because it was featured in the Harry Potter films. When seeing the steam train cross the bridge is the main attraction. When I was there, it crossed 4 times a day at these specific times. I didn't realize this when I came, and I ended up missing the train by a few minutes, so then I had to wait 3 hours for it to come again. So make sure you give yourself some time to go. You can view the trains from both ends of the viaduct, and there are great views, so it could be worth it to wait a few hours to see the train come from both angles. It does get very crowded when the train comes, but in between there was less people, which was nice. Now overall, this area was magical and definitely a must to visit, especially if you're a Harry Potter fan. Next time I want to book a ticket on the train to get the true Harry Potter experience. After, we're going to visit Eilean Donan Castle. Located about a 4-hour drive from Edinburgh, Eilean Donan is situated on this tidal island at the point where 3 great sea lochs meet. The castle was built in the 13th century and it was a stronghold for the Mackenzie clan. The castle was destroyed in 1719, but it was reconstructed in the early 1900s. A bridge was built that connected the island to the mainland. Today you can tour the castle and its grounds for a small fee. I really enjoyed walking around it. I mean, it would be so cool to live in a castle like this. For our final destination, we're going to head to my favorite place in the UK, the Isle of Skye. Located about a 5-hour drive from Edinburgh, the Isle of Skye is home to some of the UK's most beautiful places. The main town of Skye is Portree. It's this charming town with these famous colorful buildings on the water. My personal favorite place on Skye is the Old Manor. It's one of the most unique and dramatic rock formations I've ever seen. It makes you feel like you're on set of the Game of Thrones. Now to get to the Old Manor, it's a 15-minute drive to the start of the trail from Portree, and then from there it's about a 3.5-mile hike round trip. The trek isn't too difficult, but it's a steep uphill climb up some rock stairs at points. The most recent time that I was here, we hiked up into the clouds. We couldn't see all the rock formations, but it made for such a dramatic setting. When I was here several years ago, I had some great conditions. I came up for both sunrise and sunset, and both times were epic. The legend behind the Old Manor is that supposedly a giant lived here, and when he was buried, his thumb was left sticking out of the ground, creating the mystical rock formation. Another one of my favorite places in Skye is the Carrick Mountains. Aside from the Old Manor, I say that the Carrick is my favorite place in the Isle of Skye. It's a set of dramatic rock formations located on the side of a mountain. I mean, the grass is so green, it felt like you were on a golf course. To get there, I drove up this windy road to the parking lot. Be advised, these roads were really bumpy and I got a flat tire. Anyways, after I started hiking to the Carrick, it was a super easy walk with no elevation gain. I was lucky enough to experience the Carrick with sun. Many people have told me that when they went it was too foggy to see anything. If you're here for sunrise, this place looks spectacular with the rising sun as it lights up the green mountains with an orange glow. Well, that is it for my United Kingdom travel guide. There's still so much I missed, so I hope to come back for part 2. Let me know where your favorite place is in the comments below. It's Ryan, and we will see you later.